Hello, let's have a look at magnetic fields today. So what we're going to do is to use iron filings and plotting compasses to see the magnetic field around a bar magnet, around a coil of wire called a solenoid, and around a single wire. So first of all, let's try the bar magnet. So what we need to do is make sure that none of the iron filings get onto the bar magnet. We have the north pole of a bar magnet here, and if I place that on a piece of paper so you can see it a bit clearly, but to stop the iron filings getting to it, what I'm going to do is to put some paper over the top. Then we sprinkle the iron filings. Now you'll remember iron filings are a magnetic material, so they become little magnets themselves when they're near another magnet, and then they line themselves up with the magnetic field. So if we see any pattern, we should be able to tell that there's a magnetic field there. So I sprinkle my iron filings round. I'm sorry you can't do this yourselves. Right, so we're getting quite a good pattern there. You may not be able to see it from there, but let me stop and show you a bit closer. Let's have a closer look at the pattern around a bar magnet. So this is the north pole, and this is the south pole. And first of all, I'll put the paper on. If I sprinkle the iron filings over, we can start to see a pattern. Let's put a few more on. And let's just give it a tap so they jump into place. And here we have the pattern around a bar magnet. If we add some compasses, we can see what happens. Let's put a few at the either end and a few in the middle. Here is the bar magnet closer up. If you remember, the north pole of the magnet was here, and you can see the field lines coming out from the north and going round to the south pole, and the same on the other side going into here. You can also see the field lines are very close here but spread out more over in this part. The field lines show the strength of the magnet. These two magnets are attracting. We can see this because this is the north pole and this is the north pole, so there is a south and a north near each other. If we put the paper over the top and get our iron filings, we can have a look at the pattern. Just give it a quick tap and let's have a closer look. There. Here is the pattern for magnets attracting. Here we have two magnets which are repelling. You can see they each have a north pole here. If I put the paper over and sprinkle iron filings, we can see the pattern it makes. I just give it a tap so they jump into line. And let's have a closer look. There, a very clear field of magnets repelling. So let's look at our wire. Now this might be a bit difficult to see from where you are, so I'll put some pictures up and some close-up videos as well. For this, we turn on the current so that it's flowing through the wire, and around every wire carrying a current, there's a magnetic field. Normally you'd see iron filings quite scattered, but if there is a magnetic field there, we should be able to see a pattern. I quite often trip the power supply when I'm doing this, but let's give it a go. So, I'll turn it up a bit and then we'll have a closer look. If you look closely near the wire, there should be a pattern of circles. This time I've used compasses, and again you can see the pattern of the circles round looking at the compasses. This is the single wire. Watch what happens to the compasses when I switch the current on. They all jump to follow the magnetic field and go round in a circle. Underneath this, you should be able to see concentric circles around the wire. This is the pattern of the field around the wire and shows that every wire carrying a current has a magnetic field. My last demo is a solenoid or a coil of wire. I like this one. So when we sprinkle the iron filings on, we get a very definite pattern. Again, it's quite easy to see when you're a bit closer. Lots and lots of iron filings. So I'll turn it up a little bit, just give it a tap so they jump into line. Here is the solenoid a little bit closer up. You can see all the compasses follow each other round the solenoid. And you can see the very distinct pattern. This pattern is exactly the same as the pattern for a bar magnet, and there is actually a north and a south of the coil. You can see it by the way the compasses point.